4th of July, everybody. Dan Illman here with the DRF race of the day for the 4th. It's race number 9 at Los Alamitos, the Grade 2 Great Lady M Stakes. This race is for fillies and mares going 6.5 furlongs. Before we take a look at the field, remember that the 4th of July sale is ongoing at shop.drf.com. Huge savings on some of your favorite DRF products, including DRF past performances at shop.drf.com. Here's the field for the Grade 2 Great Lady M. Click or scan the QR code for Race of the Day access on mobile, which includes free formulator past performances. The number 2 Ida, going out for trainer Bob Baffert, has won 5 races in a row, spanning back to October of 2021. She came off of a lengthy layoff last time out to win at the 6.5 furlong distance, and she has good early speed. But as we take a look at the Timeform US pace projector, they're not expecting Ida to outright make the lead because there is a fast one to her inside. That is Elm Drive, the number 1. And I do agree with Timeform US. I think Elm Drive has to run and gun from the inside post. I think she can make the lead. And the 9, Dance to the Music, breaking from the outside, is going to want to get good forward position. So I expect her to be hustled out of there by Edwin Maldonado and maybe sit an outside tracking trip just off the 1 and the 2. And we'll start things off with the number 1, Elm Drive, who was a talented graded stakes winner as a 2-year-old. And I just love the way she's been managed by Phil D'Amato and the connections. After a failed excursion to the East Coast last year, they gave her plenty of time to relax and recover. And she came back with this race in the off-turf Monrovia on April the 6th at Santa Anita. And she went 6.5. She broke from the inside, much as she will do in the Great Lady M. She pressed the pace, and she was very game to hold on to win, considering the layoff by 3/4 of a length. She then ran on turf in the misdirection, going down the hill at 6.5 furlongs. It doesn't matter whether it's turf or dirt. She's going to show speed. She's going to show quality, and Elm Drive is going to show speed as a strong contender in the Great Lady M Stakes. The number 2 is Ida, and she was very, very good as a 2-year-old, and she was pretty good in her one and only start at 3, winning the Santa Isabel for Bob Baffert, going 1 mile and a 16th, just getting right to the front and sprinting on home. Now, she went to the sidelines for over a year, and she returned in this race, an allowance going 6.5 furlongs. She showed good speed in this spot. She is able to hold off the closers at the end, and that runner-up, Teddy's Barino, is no slouch. He's a solid allowance horse, so Ida did well, especially considering the layoff. While she is a Grade 1 stakes winner going 2 turns at Los Alamitos, she won the Starlet here last year, and I always think it's very important for a horse to have good prior form over this tricky Los Alamitos circuit. I don't mind her sprinting. I actually prefer her at 1 turn at this point in her career, and she could sit a good trip under Juan Hernandez. Bob Baffert trains the 2, Ida, who figures to take money. The 3 is Rose Maddox, who's going turf to dirt, and we're going to take a look at Rose Maddox's most recent dirt race, 3 starts back. This is the Irish O'Brien for California breds, and she might have been a bit compromised in this race. There wasn't a ton of pace on. She's going to run well to finish second, and the winner of this race was in very sharp form, came back to win a turf stake race up at Golden Gate with an 87 Beyer speed figure. Rose Maddox is now cutting back in distance after a couple of good middle distance turf races, and I think she's the kind of filly that is a bit under the radar, and I think is going to drift even off that 6-1 morning line price. If this pace heats up, you can expect Rose Maddox to come with a kick. She's going to be tested for class in this quality graded stakes race, but she might get the right race flow. The 4 Real Fire, like Rose Maddox, is going turf to dirt. She has only raced twice on dirt in her career. She was unsuccessful both times, but she did hit the board as the favorite in both of those races, maiden races. She's really going to have to improve. She scored last time out in her starter allowance at this distance on the straightaway 6.5 on the turf at Santa Anita. She's a horse that probably would appreciate some pace. She has to prove herself not only against tougher competition, but on this surface. Pammy's Ready is the number 5, another horse going turf to dirt. She has a good amount of early speed. She's only raced once on the dirt in her career, way back in 2021, in a race that was washed off of the grass, and she went a quick clip in that 2-turn mile race, opened up a big lead in the stretch, and was one of 3 next out winners, so that was a quality maiden special field. That being said, Pammy's Ready has been okay on turf. Maybe she's slightly better on that surface. She goes out for some solid connections, will be a big price, but will be tested for class and surface. The 6 is Chismosa, and this horse ran into a free class timeout in the Malaire. There's no telling how good Ceiling Crusher is. She won that race by 17 lengths. The runner-up came back to win a stakes race at Pleasanton earlier in the week, and Chismosa is now turning back to a sprint where she is 2 for 3 lifetime in her career. She's now making her 3rd start off of an extended layoff. I think turning back in distance will allow her to relax as the speeds sprint off in the early part of this race, and she'll likely revert to those rating tactics that worked so well for her when she won the generous portion for Calbreds at Del Mar 3 starts back. She's very lightly raced. She's got a ton of upside potential. She's also a 3-year-old taking on some quality older horses for the first time, and I wonder if this is a bit too much too soon. The 7 Awake at Midnight has done some very good things in her career. She's multiple graded stakes placed. She was 2nd in the prestigious Grade 1 La Brea for 3-year-old fillies last year, 2nd in the Santa Monica in her first start this year. Maybe her last 2 starts were somewhat below par. She was the beaten favorite last time out in the Monrovia by Elm Drive. That was a race where she was sort of down inside and in behind horses turning into the stretch, and she finished evenly. I wonder, I don't think she would have won with a clear trip, but she might have been closer than being beaten the 2 lengths by Elm Drive. I like that she has been freshened by the Doug O'Neill barn since that last race. You look back at one of her recent workouts on June the 18th, she really whipped Vegas Magic, the number 8, who's coming back for O'Neill off of a long layoff. We haven't seen her since the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. This filly won the Sorrento sprinting. I like her better as a sprinter. She didn't do well in the Del Mar Debutante 2 starts back against And Tell Me No Lies. The Breeders' Cup was probably just a bridge too far from a distance and class standpoint, and it's not like the trip was there. I just thought Awake at Midnight was better in that one workout I saw them together with, and Vegas Magic is going to have to deal with older horses and a long layoff. Dance to the Music is number 9, and she is a competitor in this race to be sure. Based on this race, the Grade 3 Desert Stormer last time out at Santa Anita back in late March, where she showed good speed from the start. She pushed the early pace. She forges on clear to win by a length, and she's always been solid in her career. I'm not sure I love the Desert Stormer overall as a race. This race seems to be a little bit tougher from a class standpoint, but she's tactical enough where I think she can work out a good trip. I am concerned that if she's going to be put on a hard chase on the turn, that maybe you could get her a little bit tired and have the closers be ready to pick her off in the stretch, but that last figure was solid, and I do think she has a bit of upside. Before we get to my top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. I'm going to go with the 7, Awake at Midnight in this race. I like the fact that she was freshened. I like the work she put in when she bested Vegas Magic in that company drill. She settles for minor awards on occasion, but I do think as a closing sprinter, this is what she wants to do, and she's going to get a good pace setup. So I'll take Awake at Midnight in the Grade 2 Great Lady M, the DRF race of the day for the 4th of July. Good luck.